Hello. This is the
What's happening, guys? It's March 2021 and this is The Hardcore Show. My name is Ricky Architect and this month we've got a great selection of tracks. We're also speaking to Alex Bailey, AB, from Stamina Records. He's going to be talking about a brand new project that he's done in collaboration with FINRG. It's called Portal, and we're going to find out a little bit more from him, from the horse's mouth. But first things first, let's kick off with our first track. This is called Krunk Like, and this is the AK-47 remix. Check this out. Pure power, that one. Absolutely love that. Okay, so let's go over to AB and start off the interview and look at some of the tracks on Portal. Hey, how you doing? Good. You're looking pretty hairy there.
Yeah, can't get a gut, mate.
No. Well, me too. That's why I'm wearing a cap. So, thank you for coming on the show. I want to find out more about this Portal thing because it's been a bit mysterious the way you've released it and the way you've kind of.
Yeah.
What is it? What's it all about, and how did it come around?
Well, it's essentially when you cut through all the mystery, it is just a CD album. But there is a little bit.
You're supposed to sell it. You're supposed to sell this album. You've just first thing to come out of your mouth is.
Do you know what? Can we just go? The thing that threw me was just we had a conversation that we'd already had. It just blew me away. I was
yeah. Just to let guys know, we have been chatting for about half an hour before we started recording. We've covered this, so we may be covering the same questions, but I'm hoping if I ask the question twice, we might get like a professional probe.
Okay, great. Yeah, no, it's a double CD album. It is a little bit special because it's a collaboration with FINRG, which Stamina's never done before. So that's quite exciting. I've wanted to do something with Substance for a while. We talked about it for a while, and it's finally happening. So yeah, that's what it is.
It sounds amazing. It's out on the 19th of March, is it?
19th of March is when the stock will be here, and I'll start sending them out. Might possibly take a little bit longer to get them out because I don't really know what's going on at the post office, whether I'm going to have to queue for days because of the pandemic, or I don't know. But yeah, it's stock 19th of March here, and I will get them out as quickly as possible. 2 CDs.
If someone buys the Portal CD, it will have been touched by you at some point. It's not just coming from a big factory where there's 10,000 units and then someone on minimum wage sort of chucks it into a bin. It will have been personally handled by Alex Bailey.
Yeah, I'd like to say, I've got Stamina Man in a warehouse just frantically stuffing envelopes, but the reality is, no, just be me in my house, putting them into envelopes, popping them in the postbox.
I wouldn't want anything to turn up on my door that's been touched by Stamina Man.
No, you don't. Especially during these times.
So, what is the general idea behind Stamina? Stamina has been around for about 10 years now.
I didn't fully realise the extent of how long it's been. I don't think it's been quite 10 years, is it? Maybe it has. I don't know.
I mean, I looked it up on Discogs half an hour ago, and it says 2011 was your first release.
Wow. Should have done some sort of 10-year anniversary.
Well,
thanks for that.
You've still got a year to get it in. It's 2021, so.
Yeah, it's been a long time. What was the question? What's the general vibe behind it?
Yeah,
idea.
What's the idea behind the label, and then how has it changed as you progressed on? And yeah, what the hell is Stamina?
Okay, well, I think basically when it happened a decade ago, as you mentioned, it was kind of born out of necessity of anything, because New Energy was obviously the leading Freeform label. I worked at New Energy, for people that don't know. I worked with Kev, and then I sort of run the Heartbeats download store, and when Kev was packing it in, I just didn't really want to kind of give up on all the things that we've been doing, especially with like the new lot of artists that were coming through, like people like Endemic and people like that, and I thought it'd be a good idea to start a label, sort of as an output for my own stuff and some of the other people like I say, Endemic and Douglas as well. Those kind of people that were on New Energy. It was like a bit of a new school crowd. So started Stamina, but also at the same time there was some other labels that were sort of coming out of the fact that New Energy had closed, like there's Watchtower and Smiling Corpse, and there's a bunch of labels, and a lot of them kind of cater.
And ATEC.
I think you did you not say it before?
No, it's about the same time. But thanks for mentioning it all the same. Yeah, and ATEC. There's a lot of labels that came out, but what I was going to say, and the reason I didn't specifically mention ATEC, was there seemed to be more labels catering for the darker stuff. And I think it's fair to say that ATEC was maybe like sort of ravier, more on a hardcore tip, a bit like Stamina. And there was already, you had your FINRG, you had your Watchtower, and they were pumping out really good quality dark stuff. So with Stamina, I thought, well, I'll veer towards sort of the lighter, ravier stuff that's intertwined with hardcore, more on a hardcore tip. And that was the original idea of the label. But fast forward 10 years, and some of those labels aren't putting out stuff anymore. I think, Watchtower's gone. FINRG's still there, doing bits, but maybe not releasing a huge amount, apart from the upcoming Portal CD. They do a few digitals, but they're mainly kind of focused on events, and Substance has got his own JT music label. But anyway, to cut to the point, since there's not as much darker stuff being put out, I've kind of veered towards that throughout the 10 years. There's still like a lot of trancey,
freeform, uplifting kind of freeform, but it's a bit of a a variety of stuff now, rather than focusing on just sort of that crossover hardcore sound, which it initially started as.
So what that says to me is that you like a bit of balance in the scene, and if there's if there's a 10 labels putting out dark, twisted, finished sounding stuff, you want to broaden it out and reflect the other side, so that our whole scene can kind of be, a broad selection of sounds rather than a one track mind kind of thing.
Yeah, that's a pretty good analogy. I mean, like, freeform's so varied and criminally underrated in the world of dance music for something with so many different styles and sounds under the one umbrella of freeform. So yeah, it's, if there's stuff lacking, then I'd like to sort of fill that gap, or at least I did. Now maybe it's a bit more geared towards my own tastes, and I just think I put out a bit more what I like, rather than looking at it from a sort of a strategic point of view. But I like a bit of everything, to be honest. So it could the next EP could be a big ravey thing, or it could be something darker. I don't know. It's kind of catering for everything, but in recent times veering more towards sort of, I don't want to say like sensible freeform, but a deeper kind of sounding beats. Yeah.
None of your sort of, like, it's been a while since you've had something like your hard house influenced kind of things. Like, what was that track called that you did? There's a big one for you. Jeff.
This is Greg's like, hey, crap. That's the one. Yeah, Big Jam. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'd do something like that again. There isn't, like, this is the thing, like, there isn't that sort of many ravey tracks and big kick tracks coming out. So I do think about maybe steering it towards that. So yeah, I'm not saying no, but at the minute seems to be the tracks that I'm receiving.
Zoom glitched for a moment here.
What I was saying is the bits that I get from people as demos or from the roster of artists tend to be more towards the sort of the trancey, traditional freeform sound, rather than, for example, ravier stuff. But anything's possible with freeform and with stamina.
Yeah. And the yin and the yang thing, is that still like something that you're trying to aim specifically to do on each EP to have?
Nah.
Jumping to cut that bit.
It started off as the fact that I liked the idea that you could have one side, again, just sort of showcasing that freeform has a big variety within it. Like, you can have something dark, twisted at 165 BPM, or you can have 170 big kick, ravey banger. I like the idea that you could marry them up on EPs, and I also wanted, because there's some really talented producers in freeform, and there always has been. They're able to do some amazing stuff. I think, like, if you look back at all the sort of the big producers in freeform, they're able to make a range of material, and more often than not, they go off and make other styles and other scenes, and cross over quite successfully. So I wanted to show that these guys are talented guys, and you can have one side this and the other side that, and that was the whole idea of the yin yang thing. With these concepts and things, when you come up with them, they're great, but they're hard to maintain, and I'm not gonna put back a release because the AA side isn't the exact opposite of the A side. I'm not going to do that. So you get EPs, and if they're two like different opposing tracks, great. But if they're not, I'm not so fussed anymore. In fact, in the digital age, I kind of regret doing the whole two-sided EP thing, because it does slow down the release schedule a little bit. But at the same time, I think it does kind of make the label a little bit unique in a sea of millions of digital labels just putting out one track. At least you get a two-track.
I think it seems more professional when you've got like a two-tracker rather than just a sort of there's a track, bung it out.
Yeah,
So,
maybe.
yeah.
I mean, I just come from the days of vinyl, and like I said, I worked at New Energy, and that's kind of how I knew a label was run. You have this track and you have that track on the flip side, and I just digital was sort of in its infancy, I guess, a decade ago, compared to today. So I just thought, well, I'll just do that. I'll have two tracks. And now I think I wish it was just one track, because I could release this track that I'm waiting for a B-side, but it is what it is. I don't think I'll change the format, because I think it fits with the whole vibe of the label. So yeah.
Well, let's hear one of those tracks, I suppose. We're going to play a track off your CD on the Portal album, which is coming out on the 19th of March. Let's play, this one is one by Substance, and this is the Teddy remix. It's called Heart of Time, and it's Teddy's No More Heartbeat remix. So yeah, I love this track. Let's give this a little play.
Forever in your heartbeat. Forever in your heartbeat. I can hear your heart. Forever in your heartbeat. I can hear your heart. I can hear your heart.
Substance, Heart of Time, and that's the Teddy remix. Who is Teddy? He's a new name. I've not seen him yet.
Well, no, he's had a track. He's had tracks out on Will's Project Badass label. It was Ted-E, Ted-E, and it's changed to Teddy.
Oh, Hong Kong he did. That's an amazing. Hong Kong was an amazing track. Oh, so he's now trading as Teddy, Teddy.
Yes.
Oh, brilliant! No, it was a great track. Like very banging, bouncy.
Yeah, it's good. I'll tell you a little story about it if you want. He sent it originally. He found the vocals. He didn't have a remix pack. He just found those vocals that Substance had used in Heart of Time. I think they're available on Splice, or they're out there because I've heard a few other remixes of it, and he sent it to me like that, and I was like, well, why don't we kind of turn it into a remix and put it on the album? And he was up for it. So yeah, that's why it's kind of a bit more of a unique take in it. It's kind of just using the vocals, and it's got that uplifting section in the middle and got that harder kind of flavour.
So it's had your engineering touch to it?
No,
completely engineered by Teddy.
That's all him. Yeah, he's really cranking them out. He keeps sending me stuff that he's doing. Because he came over to the UK and he had some lessons with me, and he had some lessons with James Kitcher, and he basically did like a bit of a tour of the UK. So he had a couple of weeks with me, just like daily, and then he had a couple of weeks with James, and then he had a couple of weeks, and he just went around and he just took notes and videoed things and really knuckled down and acted like a proper student, because he paid a fair bit of money for the flights and the studio time for all three of us. And then he's gone back, and now he is running, as far as I know, he's running a studio setup of his own. He's got his own roster of clients. He's sort of ghosting and engineering bits for a variety of styles. So he's really smashing out. It's really nice to see that, as well. Like, considering you see someone come over and you give them a set of lessons, and then they go away and they actually put it into practice. It's a nice thing to see. So
fair play. No, I'm as glad as you are. That sounds amazing. But that Hong Kong track was like, I just love that. I think he got someone else to engineer that for him. But if he can sort of go away and do that himself and build up a little scene over there in Taiwan, even better. So,
yeah,
brilliant. All right. So what's to come from Stamina? So we've got Portal coming out on the 19th of March.
Yeah.
What's happening for the rest of 2021?
I say this every time I do an album. I always say I don't want to do another album because they're a pain in the arse, to be honest with you. It's a lot of stuff to organise and etc. So I think probably I will just be focusing on a strong digital schedule for the remainder of the year, possibly with a mini sort of remix album, maybe sort of around Stamina 65 kind of thing. Because the thing about lockdown is I had a lot of people contact me and say, look, can I have a shot at remixing this? And I was like, yeah, why not? And there's about 3 or 4 of them, and they've come up with the goods, to be honest with you. There's J Solutions obviously been remixing his face off since the start of lockdown. He's done many a remix, but he's got a couple of bits for Stamina. He's done Countercultures of Valhalla, and he's done Still Dreaming by the Digital Commando, so they're both penciled for it. There's another guy called Stoker who's got a bit on Portal, and he's done a remix. Tamarax has done an update of Room Shaker. I have done a remix with Hedonistic Ritual of an old Relentless track by Impact, Fat as Fuck. We've done that, and Kev is not putting out bits that sort of the remixes of older bits. He's mainly focusing on Kevin Energy material because he's streamlined New Energy to only release his own stuff because it's just a bit easier because he's obviously got his other business, Big Jam. So kindly said we can release that. So yeah, there'll be a miniature remix album in the pipeline at some point. Other than that, it'll just be strong sort of digital schedule of releases, as well as the Summer Slammers and the end of year thing that we always do. There's some EPs in the pipeline. I've done a bit with David Henry of the Digital Commandos, which I'm pretty excited about. We just got to finalise a B-side, that old thing again where the B-side holds it up. But yeah, there's some good stuff. So yeah, it'll be Portal, and then the label will kick off again, and it'll be digital releases with a mini remix album at some point.
Nice. All right. Well, let's kick off another cut from Portal. This is on the FINRG side, and this one is it's called In Your Stride, and this is by Greg Peaks and Alchemiist, and yeah, really nice sort of hard energy sort of sound to this one. So let's run this track. we go. Hoovers and Rave Stabs. That was In Your Stride by Greg Peaks and Alchemiist. Pretty cool tune, that one. Nice energy style to it.
I really like that. They've done a couple of bits for the, like you said, it was the FINRG disc. So if I didn't explain earlier, there's 2 CDs. One Stamina, 11 tracks. The FINRG one, 11 tracks. And also you get a miniature DJ mix that's kind of bundled secretly in the CD. Somewhere, like you're adding to the whole mystery of Portal. But if you don't, then just message the page and I'll explain where it is. But yeah, two mixes. But yeah, that one, there's 2 from Greg and Alchemiist on there, and I think we know why they hooked up. Is, if people don't know, is because Greg went on a brief date to Finland. I mean, number one, what a romantic guy going all the way to Finland for a date. But he did it just as the world went to shit, and he got absolutely stuck out there for about 3 months, I think. Something ridiculous like that.
There's worse places to be like caught in lockdown than Finland, to be honest. Well, it's Finland in the winter as well.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful country, and thankfully he knows a lot of people. But I mean, that's one intense first date, isn't it? You know, ended up living with someone for a couple of months. But he hooked up with Alchemiist for a few tracks. I think he was at his place for a bit. They did these tracks. In Your Stride is really good. It's got sort of Alchemiist's filthy energy style and Greg's touch with the Hoovers and the Freeform, and it's come together really, really well. Actually, I really like that track. Yeah,
I think you're right. It picks up on both of their styles and their things. You know, Greg's always got a sort of jumpy, sort of ravey, sort of bouncy, almost like a hard housey kind of style to it. And then, and Alchemiist is a bit more sort of like deep, kind of grimy, rolling kind of thing.
That's it. Yeah, it's a good chain.
Yeah, brilliant. All right, so lastly, what have we got to expect from Freeform in the next year or two? Like, who's exciting you, and who should we be looking out for in 2021?
I mean, for me personally, there's a couple of guys. I'm going to say like they're newcomers, because one of them is not a newcomer, and that's David Henry, Digital Commandos. I mean, he's had bits out when I was working at New Energy, so he's been around the scene for a long time. But it's fair to say he dipped out of it for a bit, and he's come back in the last couple of years, and he's come back better than ever, in my opinion, because he's kind of brought that old school classic Freeform sound, but it's been brought up to date, and it really, really works. And it's a direction that I'd like to see a few more people maybe go in. You know, stuff always goes in circles, and I love that sound. I was kind of growing up on that sound of Freeform, so you know, for me, it's a no-brainer to put out his material. But of late, his stuff's just, you know, he's got a sound that you instantly recognise as him, and that's like half the battle, really. And once you've got that, and you're banging out the great tracks, you know. So yeah, good things to come from him in 2021. Already got a couple of bits and pieces scheduled for Stamina. Like I said, we've got a collab. He's got an EP pretty much in the bag, ready to go. So he's always firing on all cylinders with the Freeform. Other guys, another person that has really like piqued my interest is the Rookie. Again, it's not really fair to say that he's a brand newcomer, but he's someone who, again, made tracks way back when, before like David and the Digital Commandos. We're talking, I don't know, 98, 99. Long time ago. And he's sort of fallen back into it as well, which is good. Because he came to me to do like some trance engineering. He had a trance track and he wanted it touched up, and we did that. But you know, when someone's in the studio, I just badger them to make Freeform again, and he's done it. I'm glad he has, to be honest, because he's fused his trance sound well into his tech trance. He's fused that with his Freeform, and he's again just pumping them out. He keeps sending me demos; they're really, really good. So yeah, he's another name. I guess another one is Perception as well. We had an EP out on Stamina. I've got a track that I've done with him as well, that we did in lockdown over Zoom, the Zoom engineering thing. It's got some vocals in it from his aunt, I think. But it's really, really cool. And he's like well into his trance core. So again, another kind of sort of like old school flavors, but brought up to date. And it all really works. So I guess they're kind of my three to watch on Stamina.
Nice.
Yeah,
Perception's got a whole sort of lowercase, uppercase thing that I know you as a grammar Nazi, you must be just having real problems with.
It's difficult to type, you know. It's a tough one, but it's what he wanted, so it's what he got.
Oh, bless. All right, fantastic. Well, mate, thanks so much for coming on the show. Can't wait for this Portal album to be dropped on the 19th of March. Where can we get it from? Is it just from Stamina?
Yes, so pre-orders are open right now. Can you put some sort of link at the bottom? I don't know. Some sort of text.
Do that. Stamina-records.co.uk.
Yeah, well, there's a short link which I've made really so memorable that I can't remember it. It's something /portal.
Okay.
Yeah, you can pre-order it now. Like I said, it's limited to 250 CDs. I predict that they will probably go fairly quickly, I'd like to think. I mean, based on sales of CDs in the past, I think they'll go, especially as it's a collaboration with FINRG, and there's 22 tracks, 2 DJ mixes, so there's quite a lot included. So yeah, pre-order to not be disappointed.
They're gonna go. You're gonna have to reprint. Would you reprint them, or is it just 250 and fuck you if you missed it?
I think that's the deal with the CDs these days. I think it's got to be a bit more of a collectible item. Otherwise, it's an old school format, but a lot of people still like a tangible product. So
definitely,
got to make it a bit more special. It's 250, and that's that.
Definitely, and available digitally or at some point down the line.
Dual format product again. So when you order it on release day, you'll get the download links. So you get the CD, but you also get all the tracks in WAV,
Nice.
a bit like we've done for the last couple of CDs.
So, for example, you're in Australia. It takes like 2 weeks for the CD to be delivered.
But you can
get it straight away.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, some people might not even want the CD, but that's the format. It's going to be a nice product. Yeah, it's going to be a smooth, like a matte finish, and like you say, it's got an air of mystery about it. It's very different artwork and concept to prior albums, so well worth adding to the collection. Because a lot of people collect these things, like they've got all the Stamina CDs, and that plays to my advantage because it means I have to get this one. So.
Brilliant. Well, I mean, mate, the tracks are amazing. The artwork is all right. It's gonna sell like hotcakes, so make sure you don't miss out on Portal from stamina-records.co.uk. Buddy, thanks for so much for coming on the show. Best of luck with Portal and everything that comes to Stamina in 2021.
Cool, thank you.
So it's the hardcore
Show.
Okay, in all the fun of the interview, we completely forgot to do the Blast from the Past track.
This is the Blast from the Past.
But nonetheless, Alex did select one ahead of time. I'm going to play that now. This is Q-Tex, and this is Viroid. amazing track, that one, all the way back from 1999, Evolution number 44. Brilliant, cool, amazing, old school Scott Brown. Fantastic stuff. Okay, we're going to play a brand new track now. This one is called Genesis. This is by Risa or Risa. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. He's a guy from Japan, and this one is on Futureproof Sounds. If you want to pick it up, you need to go to their Bandcamp, which is futureproofsounds1.bandcamp.com. Try and pick it up on a Bandcamp Friday so that more money goes to the artists. Yeah, love this. Check this out. Okay, another Japanese artist now, the almighty M Project, who's just been absolutely on form for several years now. What he's working on recently is this ravey kind of sound with updated production techniques. This one is called Hyperactive, and this is on Off Minart Records. Stop the Wicked stuff. So we're going to go a bit harder now. This one is We Arrive. This is by Broken Minds on Masters of Hardcore. Check out this beautiful vocal banging track.
Spent so much time with our head down, waiting for our chance to come. Some days we thought we would give up, but we kept holding on. Now look at what we've done. We climbed our way to the top, and now we are here to say we arrived.
The Hardcore Show.
All right, next track is by Access One. Now, really loving this one. Also, really liked his previous track on Dogfight, which was called The Cabal, so check that one out as well. This one is called Rattlesnake, and it's on Dogfight Records.
Snake attitude. Watch God and the devil arm wrestle. God and the devil. Watch God and the devil arm wrestle. God and the devil. God and the devil. Watch God and the devil arm wrestle. God and the devil.
And final track for this month is, and I'm not going to pronounce this correctly, this is Dutch. It's in Hart and Nier. It's by Nosferatu, and I think a loose sort of rough translation of that is something along the lines of in heart and kidney. It's a Dutch saying, but it's sort of a pun because it relates to some quite serious problems that Nosferatu had with his kidney. But thankful to say that I think he's doing well now, and he's got through that. And it looks like he's turned the experience into a tune. This is with Alee on the vocals. This is on Masters of Hardcore, and a really special track from a very, very special producer. Let's roll this.
Breakdown.
Okay, that's it for today. Thank you very much for listening. Wherever you're listening, if you want to listen somewhere else, you can also listen now on Spotify, on Mixcloud, YouTube, Facebook, for as long as they let me keep that up. We're on iTunes, we're on Google Podcasts, and I think there's somewhere else as well. Anchor. That's it. Yeah, please, if you've got another way you want to listen to it, like, subscribe, share. Please, let's spread the message. But thank you very much for listening. This has been The Hardcore Show. And yeah, we will see you next month. Keep it hardcore.